So good morning. Today, June 10th, we are pleased to welcome Joan Marcoux, who is the Hearing, Speech, and Vision Specialist at the Department of Health and Human Services in the Office of Health Equity. And she is going to be sharing with us today the Communications Access Toolkit. So thank you, Joan.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm very pleased to be able to demonstrate to you the ADA Communication Access Kits that I've been privileged to be able to get the funding for, to be able to set up about 60 of these kits for DHHS staff and units like Bureau of Elderly and Adult Services, the DCYF staff, Sununu, Glencliff up in Warren. And so this is to promote communication access for those who are hard of hearing, speech challenge, as well as has some vision limitation. These devices don't meet the needs of all individuals with all significant hearing loss. For example, they may benefit for people with some hearing loss or moderate, but hearing loss, but they may get to the point like the pocket talkers, they may not meet the needs of some individuals because they have a profound hearing loss. However, it is a basic kit to promote access for our clients and our staff and coworkers. So I'm going to show you the 3 kits I've been putting together, and they all pretty much contain the same contents, and you would have received a list of what those the contents of the cases include. So this is one of them. As you can see, it's kind of a pretty case, and it's labeled to indicate what the contents are, like the headset covers and the microphone covers, the pocket talker, vision access, and speech access. This case, I love the case. However, it's very pricey. It was not feasible to get this for all of the sites. So we went more practical. This is easier to do in person, by the way. So this is the other one that I am setting up for the district offices and for on-site use. And as you can see, I have labeled the drawers for what they will contain. And this is the toolbox that will be going out with staff who do field visits. I was looking for something that was durable and that would tolerate extreme cold and hot weather, not be brittle and break, and especially in winter. Some plastic just doesn't last very well in cold weather. So as you can see, I have listed the top drawers. One of them includes batteries. This is the microphone covers on this side, and this one is the headset covers. I opened the kit, and I have the top drawer, which has different components in it. First of all is the assistive listening device that I can give someone. Well, I'm going to be the hard of hearing person, for example, and say I'm meeting with Dr. T, and I am not able to benefit from my hearing aids, say they broke. She could give me this, and then I would point this device, which is the assistive listening device, towards Dr. T. It has a microphone for directional purposes, but it also has an omnidirectional microphone internally. So if you don't have this microphone, you can just use this as without this external microphone. And so the nice thing about this pocket talker, which is a newer version of the pocket talker, there's 3 models, and this is the newer version. It has a volume control in the front, and it also has tone control on the side. So if I'm talking to Dr. T, I may adjust it to tone for her voice, but if I'm talking to someone else with a deeper voice, I may need to adjust the tone to better hear that person's voice. So they run on batteries, and prior to using it, you would put a microphone cover with an elastic band on it, and you put headset covers on this, and then after using the device, you discard them and sanitize the device. Now, is the TV cord, extension cord, and With today's social distancing practice, you can now use it for another purpose other than watching TV. You take the microphone, put it on the one end, and the person who's hard of hearing will use the device, and I am the speaker. I can sit 6 feet away from the person, and they can be able to hear me more clearly because the microphone is closer to my mouth. So this TV cord has been really a good asset in this day and age of COVID. So I will untangle this later. You don't need to see me do that. So for vision access, I have a signature card so that if I am giving someone some paperwork to complete and I need to have them sign, like over here, you can give this to them and they can be shown where they need to sign their names. I also have a dome magnifier. It doesn't have a handle, and the reason I got these is because if someone has arthritis, they may have a hard time holding a handle. So with this one, they could just move it along the paper on the table and be able to see the magnification. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And it also includes these bold writer pens. And what they are is that they're special markers that write boldly, but they don't bleed through the paper. Unlike other markers where you use it and it can bleed like 3 pages. So the kit contains the bold writers as well. I put a contrast paper, and I'm going to be checking to see if I can use a spray paint on plastic, just so that things show up, because black on black, you can miss components like the signature writers and the microphone. So there's definitely a need to have black on a contrast to avoid losing the components. Okay, so what else do I have in the kit? Well, I do have alcohol wipes like this. I bought a box of these, and they're in every box so that you can sanitize the devices you are using. I have a whiteboard and these Expo markers. And the reason I went with a wider one, these, as opposed to the ones that came with this, is that I wanted to be able to distinguish that these Expo writers are for the whiteboard and not the black one or the bold writer for the whiteboard. They were similar to the ones that came with this. And so I really wanted to distinguish what writing aids were for this item as opposed for writing for those vision challenges. It comes with the kit comes with the cleaner as well as the eraser. And then additionally, I have a folder with, well, this is promoting speech access, by the way. And so I have this picture board that I have been able to download from this company for free. They have actually 4 picture boards. And so I could provide this to someone and have them be able to answer yes or no, or be able to point to what's for dinner, or I'm thirsty, or open the window. So there's different items. However, if they want to be able to spell out something, here's an alphabet card so they can point and be able to indicate the word. Now, this may not be good for someone with a vision challenge. They may need the gray background and yellow letters, that's yellow background of black letters that stand out to make it more feasible for them to read the font. This the binder also has the instructions for the pocket tracker. So these are the devices that will be in the communication access kits, as I mentioned, that will be provided to DHHS staff. I do want to show you a device that is not in the kits, but I wanted people to be aware of this device being available, because it's a portable CCTV. And I feel it was just an introduction to be able to show you. It goes to sleep when you don't use it. So while I was talking, it went to sleep.
Joan, what is the CCTV? What does that stand for?
Closed circuit television, but this is a portable magnifier. Okay, it's turning on. This one's called the Luna, and I just got it yesterday. So you can see how it's a handheld magnifier. It's portable. I can change features on it, like increase the font. I'm going to go to 4.5. I want to show you how you can also change the color. So these are about 300 bucks, but the benefit of this is that you can have different types of magnification for your clients and customers that have vision challenges. So I welcome the opportunity to answer any questions people may have about my kits. My kit.
Thank you, Joan. That was wonderful. We're opening it up. Let's see, there's a few comments in the chat. So can we order a kit for our clinic? Who has access to them? And some complimentary comments. So can you start with that question?
Okay, I'm not selling them. I wish I was. So I have provided a list of the different vendors who sell these so that people can buy them on their own. I have encouraged one agency to consider maybe trying to be selling these down the road, but that's not something in the immediate future that they will be doing. But so hopefully the list that I sent out will be a resource for you to be able to buy the items and assemble your own kit without having to do the shopping around that I had to do. So I make it easier.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I've seen that one go yet. So we'll make sure we send it out after today. And if possible, we can see if we can drop it in the chat. So it sounds like that's a list of contents that you recommend people put in their kits, that they assemble their own, and you've provided some guidance on sort of what and how to purchase.
It's the list of contents that I have purchased.
Okay.
So,
Joan,
we just added we sent the list this morning via email, but we also added it to the chat box. It's in the chat box.
Wonderful. Thank you, Hanan. I can see that the list is in the chat box and in your email. And I wonder if you could repeat, Joan, you did say you were making it available to some, sorry, my mom's coughing. Can you repeat who you are making these kits available to? Because we have people who are from the department or other agencies as well as other organizations.
These are strictly for DHHS. So they're going to be available in the district offices, front lobbies, Hazen and Brown Building, Sununu Center, the Glencliff in Warren, New Hampshire, and BAS staff will be getting them in DCY app, some of the staff, family support services, as well as the investigative unit.
Excellent. And if there are program areas or projects within DHHS who could benefit from something like this, should they reach out to you for assistance and or can you support them with helping to get the content since they're DHHS?
If someone is an employee of DHHS, operates a program in DHHS, they can reach out to me and see about the feasibility of getting one. Right now I have 62 of these boxes that I will be assembling and distributing them, and I can see how much more funding I have available.
Okay, so 62, and it sounds like you already have a well-developed list of who was already getting a kit, right? Based on being like a lobby or a place that deals with people. Okay, wonderful. I see Athena has a question.
Hi, Joan. Thank you so much for just going through it. I think it makes more sense when we actually see you kind of go through each of the items and how they function and why that might work for someone who may have that need. I'm over at the maternal and child health section and for public health, and we do have, a number of programs that, may not necessarily have direct contact with, clients, but we are running programs that do. I'm just wondering if maybe there's availability for, if we wanted to reach out and maybe just have you do this, and sharing that list, and we can kind of support. We just want them to know kind of those tools that are available that they could purchase and put together, and what, why a toolkit like this would be helpful for them to have on location. So sorry to put you on the spot. I was just thinking it may be really helpful for us to coordinate and it not be multiple, but we could probably, especially when we have statewide programs, kind of leverage meetings that we might have that have everybody at the table, to kind of get that information out in a way that is useful.
Yes, I'd be really happy to work with you in promoting that different entities get these, and I've always advocated that community providers provide access as well to their clientele, and so having something like this for them, in their ADA access kit, promotes the access to their services as well. So yes, I'd be willing to work with you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions from anyone at the moment?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, those are awesome.
Someone's
Now we gotta figure out
not
what-
muted. Not sure who that might be.
I was wondering, this is Isadora. Joan, do you want me to mention a little bit about the DD Council's
Yes.
small grants for community education and projects that support accessibility? So hi, everybody. I'm Isadora from the DD Council, and I'm so grateful to Joan for doing this roadshow. She is really making the rounds and helping organizations understand why it's important to have a kit like this available, especially if they're serving individuals with different types of disabilities that could benefit from these resources. One of the things that the DD Council has available is a small grant program for accessibility needs. And so I want to kind of temper that statement with the fact that obviously state agencies should be who serve individuals with disabilities should be providing their own funding for these types of kits if they're serving people with disabilities. But if there are smaller nonprofits or organizations, and Athena, you mentioned that maternal and child health. So I know that your office works closely with New Hampshire Family Voices, for example. And if New Hampshire Family Voices wanted to apply for a small grant from the DD Council to try to put one of these kits together, then that's something that they could do. And they could, because they serve so many different types of families, especially families of kiddos who have disabilities or who themselves might have disabilities, that might be an option for, again, smaller nonprofits or people for whom funding is an issue. When we got the list from Joan, it didn't include that last $300 item, which is really cool. And I wonder how many of those functions iPhones now have also. iPhones have a number of apps that can help with magnification and contrast and things like that. So the list that we got didn't include that item, but if someone wanted more information, now it's year end for the state, so we have put our grants on hold until July 1st so that we can go ahead and close out our state budget. But starting July 1st, I'm happy to answer questions for organizations who think this might be, who are potentially serving people with developmental disabilities for whom these resources could be very meaningful. And so I'm happy to answer questions or talk to people about our grant application process come July 1st. If they really don't have the resources or are not a state agency and would like to purchase one of these kits that are on their own, it would mean you would have to buy the individual items and put it together yourself.
Thank you, Isadora. And I have a wondering, maybe you can help clarify. So two things. One is if you anticipate serving people with developmental disabilities, so are we saying that communication access, hearing and vision and speech challenges, do those count?
So the DD Council actually follows the federal definition of a developmental disability. So which includes physical and cognitive or a combination of physical and cognitive impairments that impact various areas of being able to live and work and be mobile and and use money and all of these areas that, receptive language and also understanding language. So, and a lot of people with, for example, autism will also have perhaps maybe they're nonverbal and could use one of those charts for communication. I don't know if you showed them the little like whiteboard would also be helpful. So for people who have communication challenges due to autism, so there definitely are overlaps and crossovers. And again, if someone's providing community-based services, it's likely that at some point you will encounter an individual with an intellectual or developmental disability or family for whom that those particular items could benefit their access to supports and services in the community.
Thank you so much for clarifying, because I wanted to add on, because if we're really intentionally trying to be equity minded and understand how vital language assistance and communication access is, the reality is that we should be expecting to serve clients with these needs, no matter where we are in the state, no matter what sector we work in, or no matter what agency or organization we work in. So it would be a best practice, an equity promoting activity to just go ahead and try to get this set up in your organization. So Joan and Isadora are hopefully providing, the activation energy, right? Or the opportunity, or facilitating everyone's ability, whether you're at DHHS or external, to get these toolkits into your organizations. And I have a question for Joan. I'm hoping, could you share a little bit more for everybody, in addition to this, right, putting together toolkits and making them available to people? Joan, can you describe the kinds of services you can provide in your role? Because I bet now that people are seeing this is really valuable, I bet that then they can latch onto that and get a better understanding of all the very many things you can offer people in all organizations.
Okay, I can do a lot of presentations about hearing assistive technology and communication access, educating people about the spectrum of individuals with hearing loss and, going from being hard of hearing to those who are deaf, ASL, deaf blind, and, not the same communication access applies to everyone. It's best to ask individuals what best meets their need. So I also, in my presentations, review a lot of the hearing assistive technology that's available, ranging from caption phone, relay services, the assistive listening devices, not just the pocket talker, but there's a whole spectrum of those as well, ranging in price. I also review pager devices, doorbell senders, smoke alarms. Everybody thinks everybody has a smoke alarm, but that's not the case. We've had a casualty in New Hampshire years ago where a deaf man did not hear the smoke alarm and died. So I also show tactile phones because there's various companies that provide caption phone services. I do a lot of demonstrations now about communication access apps and also captioning services for telephonic use on the smartphones. So, and then I do have vision devices that I demonstrate and some speech aids. And a lot of this, the speech access tools are on the iPad that I have access to different apps that promote access for those who are speech challenged, where they can type in the iPad will voice what the person's typing. I do exhibitor events, like I just did one this week. It was great. It was for deaf and hard of hearing students, and some individuals came and asked questions for the benefit of their parents who are seniors and who have hearing challenges. And so, I may be there for one event, but it can benefit others as well. And then I do home visits one-on-one. Starting to do more now that things are opening up, but I carefully do those. That pretty much provide a variety of tasks, a lot of information and referral. I'm here for DHHS staff, community providers, and New Hampshire residents. And I also get calls from people out of state asking questions as well. So I'm here for you all.
That's wonderful. And we're so lucky to have you as one of two dedicated full-time staff at the Department for Communication Access. And I think what's important to point out about your position is that you're not specific to the department, nor are you specific to agencies. So I was wondering, you mentioned it quickly, but if you could elaborate on what you meant by the one-on-one consultation, what does that mean for people and how do they help people connect to that?
They can call me or email me, and sometimes they'll say the person has like a hearing loss but can't afford hearing aids, so I will go in and show them different assistive listening devices. Sometimes they'll say, oh, my family member is having a hard time understanding me on the phone, and I can go in and show different captioning phones. It's easier sometimes for people to come here and see the devices here, but I can go into the home if someone can't come here. And I work closely with ServiceLink because they have a lot of this technology, some of this technology that was provided to them years ago. And so sometimes I'll refer them to ServiceLink to see if they can use some of the devices they have. If not, then I can do more demonstrations and input about what's available to meet their needs.
That's excellent. Can you be sure to drop in the chat how people can reach out to you for either the organizational or the individual services for individual community members or clients, people in the community? And finally, I do want to open it up if there's any additional questions from anyone before we thank Joan for her presentation today. Okay. Caretaking in motion here, guys.